This is the deadliest storm in recorded history. It's responsible for over 13,000 deaths. And it might not be a tropical cyclone or even a recent event. Believe it or not, this catastrophic storm occurred almost 100 years ago, and to this day, it remains the deadliest in recorded history. On October 12, 1931, a powerful extratropical cyclone struck the Shandong Peninsula in China. Now, you might be thinking that this deadly storm was a typhoon or a hurricane. In fact, it was neither. This devastating disaster was a regular old temperate cyclone. In fact, this storm wasn't even all that unique. Every year, dozens of these mid-latitude cyclones batter the shores of China with strong winds and torrential rain. But this particular storm was worse than normal. As it moved across the peninsula, it produced an incredible amount of rainfall, as much as 8 inches in some areas. These rains caused widespread flooding and destroyed thousands of homes. But the real damage came from the storm surge as the cyclone moved off to the east. It generated a massive wave that pushed seawater several miles inland. Entire villages were wiped off the map, and more than 100,000 people were left homeless. In the aftermath of the storm, there was widespread famine and disease. Many survivors were left with little more than the clothes on their backs. Some made it to nearby cities where they begged for food and water. Others stayed in their flooded villages, hoping that the water would eventually recede. But the water didn't recede for weeks, and during that time, the temperature rose, making the floodwaters even more polluted and deadly. As a result, many more people died from disease and starvation than from the storm surge or the flooding. In total, this one storm killed more than 13,000 people. That's why it's the deadliest storm in recorded history. So why haven't we seen anything like this since then? Well, first of all, it's really just dumb luck. If a similar storm were to hit today, it would likely cause even more devastation. That's because more people live in coastal areas now than ever before, and sea levels are rising, which means that future storm surges will likely be even more deadly. But another reason we haven't seen anything like this is due to improvements in forecasting. Back in 1931, meteorologists had no idea that this deadly storm was brewing off the coast of China. Today, we have sophisticated satellites and computer models that allow us to track storms as they form. So while we haven't been spared from deadly storms, we do have a lot more warning when a big one is on its way. Now, to learn more about this deadliest storm in recorded history, check out the long-form video in the description below. Thanks for watching.